and it is a pleasure to welcome to the show Matt Earley. He is the co-founder and head of farmer relations for JustCoffee.coop, our original sponsor. I mean, not just on the Majority Report, but also back in the day on Break Room Live. And a sponsor of this program. But I wanted to talk to you, Matt, because I wanted an opportunity for our audience to just hear about the about what fair trade is. And also again to compliment you guys on your coffee. I love it. I have been drinking it now for I guess 3-4 years, and
Right.
I want to thank you for the sponsorship, but also I appreciate your business.
Wow, thanks a lot, Sam. I appreciate that. Yeah, and we're super happy to still be in partnership with you guys and building that up, and fully support your show and the shows you've done in the past. So yeah, it's a pleasure for us to work with you all and to be here on the Majority Report with you.
All right, so now that we've got that full disclosure over, tell me about tell me tell the audience what is it what does fair trade mean?
Man, that's a great question. It's actually a really relevant question for right now. Fair trade as a concept has been around at least 40 or 50 years in the U.S. Kind of came up through church-based groups that were working with artisans in the global South and recognizing the value of the work that they did, and trying to create better markets for them here in the U.S. where they could receive a fair wage for the work that they're doing. Over the years, it's become much more complex, and today what we're looking at is a situation, in our opinion anyway, where there are two very distinct and main currents in fair trade right now. Just Coffee Co-op, we consider ourselves part of what we see as a movement to build a better, economic model, model of social and economic justice and economic democracy, and trying to include both the coffee farmers who we work with in that project and also the end consumers of the coffee that we roast. So we see it as a way to sort of tear down those barriers that separate us in the marketplace and let us, create a way for us all to be able to see each other and to appreciate each other and to work with each other as partners from the beginning of that chain to the end. But there's another very powerful sort of piece of fair trade these days, and I would call that the more market-based piece of fair trade. And it is sort of revolves around certification agencies and building a brand and working with large corporations like Starbucks and Green Mountain coffee companies and others to build a brand and promote that brand, in our opinion, at the peril of the movement piece of it. So dumbing down standards, dumbing down the education piece for consumers. The latest big thing in the coffee industry with fair trade is a movement to allow plantations into the fair trade system, which has always been a way to highlight and create a market for small farmers and their cooperatives. Again, economic democracy. So there's a lot of, I don't know if I'd call it conflict, but disagreement and discussion going on within fair trade these days, and a lot of, struggle over defining what that movement is and how to move forward the best way.
So, I mean, at the end of it, how is it that I'm not making a sales pitch here, but your prices are completely consistent with what it would cost me to go and buy a bag of beans at at a Starbucks, or in many cases it's even less expensive. How is it that you guys manage to pay the suppliers, the farmers of your coffee a fair wage, and still sort of deliver it to the consumer at a price that's consistent with everybody else's price?
Well, I mean, I think the short answer to that is that our model isn't a solely profit-motivated model of business where, some of the companies that you just mentioned, like Starbucks or other more, I would say, traditional coffee roasting enterprises, their mission is to turn a profit, either for the smaller private roasters or for their shareholders, for the bigger ones. For us, profit as a for-profit business, and that's what we are technically. We do have to make a bit of a profit just to continue doing what we do and to be able to grow. But profit is not our main objective. What our main objective is building sort of this movement and this model of economic and social justice. And we feel like a big part of that is economic. It's sort of redistribution of wealth. So we do try to pay as much as we can to growers, and we've been sort of on the leading edge of that for several years now. But also, people at Just Coffee aren't breaking the bank. Nobody here is getting wealthy. And when we started the business, that was sort of a defined, it's something that we realized that we wouldn't do that. But we also realized if we could make enough to sort of feed our families and to keep going, that's what we needed to do, and we were willing to do that. So I think that for us, part of being a fair trade model is not only paying the farmers a fair wage or trying to pay them a fair wage, but it's also being able to give the end consumer a fairly priced product. And so that's what we do.
Why? Is coffee? It seems to me that that fair trade is most often associated with coffee. Is that? Am I just perceiving it that way because I've been in business with you guys, or is it is that? Is that the case? Because I just don't see the concept of fair trade in other products in the same way. Apple obviously is in the news these days, and now they've agreed at least to provide or to have their suppliers audited for standards and practices in terms of the way they treat their workers. But they certainly. They're certainly not. You don't hear much about fair trade electronics. Why do we hear about it more in terms of coffee?
Well, coffee was sort of the first, other than the smaller artisan stuff that was going on before coffee. Coffee was the first global commodity that was introduced into a fair trade system, and that had a fair trade system constructed around it. There are other commodities. There's tea, there's honey, there's sugar, there's wine now, there's flowers. There are a lot of things that are fair trade certified, quote unquote, which I think, in some products has more validity than others. For instance, in tea and in fruit, bananas in particular, plantations have been part of that a fair trade paradigm for a while. And that's been, fairly controversial. But with coffee, I think, coffee, not only is it one of the sort of most traded commodities in the world, it also really lends itself to our relationships and stories, and it's such an intimate part of so many people's lives. I think it's been a really easy product to build a fair trade system around, and to be able to tell that story and get people to really envision where that coffee is coming from and who it is that's growing that coffee. And so I think that's probably, one of the main reasons why coffee has been sort of at the forefront of this. As far as electronics go, there are a lot of, there's a lot of products out there. It's really difficult when you look at electronics and a lot of others. That's a really complex commodity chain, and coffee is a very straightforward commodity chain. Someone grows it, it's processed, it's shipped, it's roasted, and it's sold. With electronics, you have things coming from all over, and there's contractors and subcontractors, and it's kind of like apparel in that way, which is another complex commodity chain. So, but one of the things I think that what fair trade has done, with coffee is sort of being the headliner, but with other products is that we're not only trying to build a brand like the more sort of corporate fair trade model I think would have us do, but we're also educating people to sort of think beyond that 7 seconds they spend choosing a product in the grocery store and looking at everything they buy and thinking, where does this come from? How is it made? How are people affected by my consumer decision? And I think we're seeing that in what's going on with Apple, this week, and other things where people are saying, wait a second, what is the meaning of this iPhone that I'm holding in my hand, and how has this affected people negatively or positively? So I think that's one of the great successes of the fair trade movement, is to try to get people to ask those questions with every single thing they purchase. And that's really powerful. We can do that, and we can make a huge difference, I think, if we're willing to do that with everything that we buy.
And let's just talk briefly about Just Coffee in particular. It's a co-op. I mean, aside from the fact that I also got to say, your site is JustCoffee.coop is, if anybody's really interested on just sort of seeing how the whole process works, you guys have a whole transparency section of the site where you can see how much you guys pay per pound for the coffee. You have a map of your the supply chains for the coffee, and presumably the tea and the chocolate as well. But you guys are also a co-op. How does that work?
It works. It's kind of clunky sometimes, but it works really well. Democracy is a messy process, as you know, and we're a worker cooperative, so the people that work at the business are also the people that own the business, and the majority of people working at Just Coffee are also owners. So it's been an incredible sort of process for us to even figure out over the years what a co-op is and how it needs to be run effectively. To have a successful business, and also how it changes as your business changes and grows. But it's always the underpinnings of it is democracy in the workplace, and the people who own the business are also the people who are there in the trenches working every day. And we feel like what that does is, it gives people, and every minute they're bagging coffee or trying to collect money from people. It gives you that incentive to really always want to do your best, especially when you have a sort of a social and political mission behind your business. It's motivating to us, and it lets us see that everybody here is equal. And for us, it's the best organizational and ownership model that you could have in a business, because the people here are the people who have stake in it, and so
how do you organize it though? I mean, do you guys you have, I assume, some type of hierarchical structure, or do you? I mean, how do you guys decide hey, we're gonna put out a new type of coffee where let's do some Bolivian, or let's do Ethiopian,
right.
How granular is the sort of the democratization of every decision?
It's part of our process has been learning the difference between a collective management style and a cooperative ownership model. So everything we used to do when we were smaller, everything. I mean, our joke was we weren't allowed to tie our shoes without taking a vote from everybody who worked at Just Coffee. And actually, when it was really small, that worked great. We all literally were in the same room. We all wore every hat. Everybody roasted.
And everybody wore loafers.
Everybody wore loafers, if we wore shoes at all. But as we grew, and as jobs got a little bit more technical, we've had to stratify, and then we took more people on, and sort of this organic management structure started to grow up. And we really hit a spot last year where we were sort of at the precipice of we needed to develop a new model and understand what we were doing a little bit better, but didn't really have the tools to do it. None of us are business people. I mean, we are. We call ourselves reluctant business people. Mm-hmm. But, we had no training. Nobody here has really ever taken a business class ever. So figuring out how to go from that collective management style, which really wasn't working anymore, to something that was a little bit more structured. We really still, we shun the term hierarchical, but, you can look at it, and there are people who, there's a production manager, and there's someone who's in charge now of accounts and financing, and, I manage a couple of people now, and so it was a struggle. We had to call the consultants in, and everybody had to just, sit down, and it took us about 6 months, and we're still going through it. But we've always had at the sort of the bottom of everything is the attention to that democracy in the workplace, and we still, it's still a very democratic process. It's just not as collective as it used to be, with every single person being involved in every decision. So yeah, it's definitely still a learning process, but we value it and think it's the best way to go.
Well, Matt Earley, I appreciate the support that you guys have given me and the shows that I've been a part of over the years. And frankly, I genuinely love your coffee, which is why we've been able to maintain this relationship for so long, because I only drink just coffee, and so it's been a pleasure. And I wish there were more companies out there like you guys, because you're the guys I would love to. It's companies like yours that I really sort of feel comfortable promoting, and
Wow,
so
thanks.
I appreciate it. And folks, JustCoffee.coop. I gotta remind you, 10% discount when you use the coupon code majority. And I also want to tell you guys that I appreciate what you did. You guys are located in Madison, and of course, when all that went down, you were helping people out with coffee when they were heading to the Capitol. And so thanks for all the work you do.
Oh yeah, man, it's our pleasure. I mean, this is it for us. It's all, work and politics and play, and everything is the same. So we're really fortunate to be doing what we do, and we're really fortunate to have partners like you all. So I appreciate it
All right.
a lot.
Thanks, Matt.